Alright, so we've started by pulling the drive shaft out. As most of y'all know, you got the 4 bolts there on the rear end. Slide right out, ain't nothing to that. I'm about to take this one over here and test fit it to the other transmission before I do anything else. Make sure the drive shaft's right, it's gonna fit, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we got her in the air. Easiest way I can see is you got 2 bell housing bolts right down there behind the engine. The 2 top ones, you can get them right here. The rest I get from the bottom. You're gonna have to undo your donuts on the pipes and get that out of the way, and your transmission mount and your torque converter, and you should be ready to come out. Not that bad, but we'll walk you through it as we go. Now, of course, we've got the starter because Ford bolts their starter to the transmission, not the engine. Now for the starter, the top bolt, I've heard people talk about it, it is kind of a pain to get to. But you take a long extension, you run it over your sway bar and through your K-member right here. And bolts right there. You take it and run it up through here. And voila. There she goes. Alright, for these torque converter bolts, you're going to need a 14-inch wrench or 14mm wrench and a flathead screwdriver. What I'm doing right now is using the screwdriver to turn the flywheel. Alright, so the thing with this, what I've been trying to avoid the whole time, if you strip your torque converter bolts, you're going to have a very, very bad day. And I've done 3 out of 4. I skipped this one right here because somebody's already stripped it and I'm worried about it. But anyway, you can shove your flathead right here and catch a tooth, and then just pull it tight. You shove it in that hole right there and just catch a tooth. pull it tight on there. Now what I'm gonna do, the 9/16 will go on it fine, but you don't want to do that. You'll just strip it more. 14 is what it's supposed to be. I'm gonna take and really try to put it down on there. And all I can really do is hope it bites. Oh! Dang it. Alright, so we're going to do the clutch pedal here. Now you've got that rubber bushing right there. That's already in place. That's where this clutch cable is supposed to go. This end of it. The other end over there is going to come out through here, wrap around under the wires and stuff by the battery right there, and come back into the transmission. And voila, the cable's done. You see it runs right there. You're gonna have to tap a screw in the top and the bottom. The holes are there, but they're not tapped. And it runs down through here and cuts by under the motor support and runs back to the transmission down there. Alright, now when you unsnap that thing off of there, you've got the 4 bolts right there and right there, and she should come out of there. After you move some stuff around. Alright, for the clutch pedal, sorry guys, I'm doing such a crappy job at filming this. I don't have nothing to hold my cameras while I'm doing it. But you've got 4 bolts around the bracket up yonder in the back, and 1 up here. The manual bracket bolts up just like the auto. The auto will come out with the steering column up, but the manual pedals, you're gonna have to drop your steering column with these 4 nuts around here and drop it down just a little bit, and the clutch pedal and everything will go right up in there. Same thing with the automatic shifter. I haven't gotten it out yet. What you're gonna have to do there is get your console out, because it won't come up past the console, and get that done. We dropped the transmission out last night. I didn't get to film some of that because my camera died, and we had some issues. Y'all saw that torque converter bolt I was messing with that last. It was stripped. I finally got that out. Just a little bit of stuff like that. Now we've run into a roadblock, is why I'm cutting this video off here. I've got an 8-bolt flywheel that came with the transmission. I've got the clutch, everything I need to put this together, but we got the transmission out, and turns out I have a 6-bolt crank, so I've got to find another flywheel, and I do need another drive shaft because the drive shaft for the auto is smaller than the one for the manual. But other than that, next week or so this should be coming together, and I'll show you how it all goes back in. But anyway, that's all there is for today. Just a little recap. The clutch pedal assembly, that's 4 13mm bolts, 1 10mm, 4 13mm on the steering column, and that's pretty much all you need. There is a 10 and 13. You can take just about everything you need to under that dash apart. I had to take my cover off and everything just to see better and get to some more stuff. But once you drop that steering column down and just kind of teeter it a little bit, the clutch pedal assembly will go right up in there. That's that. Your automatic shift handle, it's got 4 8mm bolts all the way around it, and you got to undo your cable underneath from the transmission if you haven't done that already like I have. And you've got to move your console out, which I haven't done yet, and pull the shifter up through there. and clutch cable runs in right there, goes under there. For the automatic transmission, it's not bad at all. You're gonna need 10 millimeter. There's two 10 millimeter bolts on the starter. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 13 millimeter bolts on the bell housing. There's 4 14 millimeters on the torque converter. Really advise that you don't strip those. There was one on ours that was already stripped by previous owner, I guess. Not to mention, strip was extremely tight. Now if you run into that problem, usually what I do is I pull the dustpan off the bottom and run the torque converter around and get the bolts off with a 14 millimeter wrench and make sure it's a 6-point wrench, not a 12-point. But if you do run into the problem I ran into, turn it on around that way a little bit and watch where it's going. There's a hole up towards the driver's side of the car on the side of the transmission. You get that torque converter bolt lined up in it. You need a long extension, and you can run it through and get it on the darn torque converter bolt and get it from there, which is better for when it's stripped. If it's not stripped, I wouldn't worry about doing all that. But like I said, the 210s on the starter, one's on the bottom, others on the top. Same thing with that. 10 millimeter real long extension. You run it through the K member right here, and you get that top starter bolt real easy. Drive shafts 12 millimeters. The cross member is 2 1/2-inch on each side, and 4 18s in the middle hooked to the transmission, and that'll come out. I don't know, my pipes are modified. I don't know about everybody's, but I got the transmission down without taking the pipes loose at all. And just after all that, once I get that flywheel and the drive shaft, we'll be going in with the manual. That'll be on the next video. Yeah, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Just have a good day.